Okay. So I am streaming and I'm recording and my sub count is not visible. I'll have to work that out later. But for now, we have a different concern, which is someone with a very tiny penis has decided to DOS attack my website, which is great. Which, like, if you don't know what a DOS attack is, it's basically like a cyber attack that's very much illegal and prosecutable by either fines or prison time for basically creating a bunch of fake searches on my website. So people are showing up at... Oh, wait. So basically, it creates a bunch of fake traffic to your website that completely overloads the servers, uses up all the space available, and if you're on shared hosting like me, then your hosting provider is likely to restrict access to your website in order to prevent their resources getting flooded and preventing their service from working. Therefore, my website is down at the moment. Obviously, this is a revenue source for me, so someone trying to do a DOS attack is trying to inhibit my livelihood, which, you know, I got other ways of making money, so you're kind of failing on that one if that is your goal. But also, why do you care? So I have to now take the time to implement something that I ideally would have anyway, but just have never had knees to put time towards doing as a solo business owner who does literally everything myself. And yeah, DOS attacks are targeted. They don't happen by accident. So the only difference between a DOS and a DDoS attack is, like, DDoS is... like they're using some proxies or a service or something to make it look like it's coming from a million different IP addresses, so it makes it a little hard to track who it's doing. Not impossible, but a little harder. And then a DOS attack is like you can see it's coming from an individual user. But even with DDoS attacks, there are ways of finding out who the criminal is, and I am not at all above reporting it. So if you think like, she'll just deal with it herself, like, no, I will come after you if you persist. Don't worry about that. So in the meantime, I'm going to go into Cloudflare and set up something called the under attack mode, because my hosting provider SiteGround has to upsell you for the under attack mode, as well as trying to upsell you to a premium private server to host your website. So even if I do get attacked, then it doesn't inhibit the other user's service. But I won't be doing that for now. I'm just going to put up the Cloudflare under attack mode and set up a firewall of sorts. And I do have a few suspects on who I think might have done this. People who are very much not okay with me just existing, living my life while they hate themselves, which is the essence of what could be summed up for everyone who has ever caused me problems. But yes, let's begin the process. I found a little tutorial that's like 2 minutes long on how to do it. We'll find out if it's actually that easy, but we're gonna look into it. So I had it here. There we go. Let's put it over at the end so don't lose the tab. Right, and now we're gonna share my Safari screen so you can follow along with me. Is that my Safari screen? I don't think that's my Safari screen. Properties. Yeah, that's window capturing my onboard calendar. Which K. But Safari. There we go. Dude. If anyone wanted to watch my sleep stream last night on Deborah's Dough, by the way, that is now processed and visible for you to rewatch if you feel so compelled. It was just how I was chilling out after jiu-jitsu training on my other channel. But yes, so I'm gonna rewatch this tutorial.
I'm going to teach you how.
Loud. It's a very simplistic one, and I should put my headphones on for this so we're not getting echo. It's a very simplistic tutorial that I do feel was kind of poorly designed and skips a couple steps in terms of setting up your account. But that means I can use this footage to make a better one, so we'll walk through the process.
To protect your site.
Not connected yet. Bluetooth settings. There you go. And I believe that the original DOS attack was legitimate, as I had 2 days of obscenely high traffic where it equaled to about like 20,000 visits in like a few minute period, which like just doesn't happen for my website. But then like there were 2 times where they re-implemented it in accessibility so people could actually find the website again. And then my analytic tools only tracked about 63 visitors during that period when they left it open for like a few hours in a day, which is much closer to normal. Like it's on the lower end of normal, but like it's much closer to normal than 20,000 visitors in a couple hours. But then they said, oh no, the attack has reoccurred, and it's like, I don't know, I don't really see proof in that. So a little bit of me is like thinking they were using the opportunity to try and upsell. But if there is a way to paywall something in a hosting provider, there is a free way to do it. You just have to work out how to do it. Okay.
From DDoS using Cloudflare. If your website ever slows to a crawl or goes offline because of a traffic flood, these settings will harden your defenses fast, while keeping real visitors moving through smoothly. First, sign into your Cloudflare account.
Well, I don't have a Cloudflare account yet, so let's start that. I feel like I made a Cloudflare account. Cloudflare. Why can't I say it? Cloudflare. I feel like I made a Cloudflare. I feel like I made a Cloudflare account previously when I didn't know what it was and was looking at different hosting providers. But let's just make one from scratch today. There's a login option. I'm guessing that would be a make an account option soon. Oh, it's remembered my previous one? Let's see. Did I ever do anything with this? I don't think I did. Onboard your agent to Cloudflare. My agent? I'm not having AI. Stop it. Alright. So we're here. We need to go into account home. Add a domain. Register a new domain or bring your own. Free DNS, automatic HTTPS, and DDoS protection included, which is why we're here. If you do your research, it's like Cloudflare is always the one. Okay, type in your domain. I never know if they want the www dot on this one. dibdabdigital.com. Did I type it correctly? Yes. This domain is already registered. If you own it, you can connect it to Cloudflare. Yes, I do own it. Okay. Connect your domain. Configure AI training and search bot. I don't want to do that. Bots can scan your search pro. I'll come back to this later. Bots that pull information from provides user. No. Block on pages with ads. Because then that will stop them from taking on my blog content. Training. Crawlers can scrape content training. No. Block. Block training in robots.txt. Does not guarantee the bots will be compliant to robots.txt. Okay. Import DNS records. Okay, continue. Please ensure that you are providing the root domain and not any subdomains. So no www dot. Alright. Thank you for that. Okay, we're on the free plan. Because we're just here for DDoS protection. Importing DNS records. Oh, I hate DNS record stuff. It always feels like magic, and then somehow it works at the end, and it's a struggle every step of the way. Our scan may have missed uncommon records or custom subdomains. Compare the list below to your current DNS provider, most likely your registrar, and any missing records. Pay close attention to all records on the zone apex, records of the type A, AAAA, CNAME, and records needed for email, like MX SPF. So I still am having problems with my DNS records from my email provider. It took me forever to work out how to do it with MailerLite, even though it was actually quite simple in the end. I was just being a moron. This feels like developer work. Like, I feel like I know I can't code for the life of me, but I feel like this falls into developer work, and I end up doing more developer work than I have ever wanted to do in my life. Okay. Your traffic is almost ready to proxy. How proxying works, I think I know, but for the benefit of the viewers. How Cloudflare DNS works. DNS explained. To optimize your website or web application, Cloudflare, I can't say it. Actually, why is it a tongue twister? Provides DNS CDN services so we can reverse proxy the web traffic to and from your domain. DNS explained. The domain name system acts as the internet's phone book, translating domain names, for example, cloudflare.com, into numerical internet protocol IP addresses, for example, blah blah. The IP address is like a home address of where a website lives. The domain name is the human readable name. A DNS query is like asking for directions to a place, and the DNS records are the source of truth for what exists where. DNS records live in authoritative DNS servers and provide information about a domain, such as the IP addresses of the server that hosts the web content and services on that domain. With this information, internet browsers know where to find a website or apps. They can render it for visitors using HTTP. Cloudflare is a DNS provider. When you onboard your website or application to Cloudflare, Cloudflare becomes the primary authoritative DNS provider for your domain. As the primary authoritative DNS provider, Cloudflare responds to DNS queries for your domain, and you manage your domain's DNS records via the Cloudflare dashboard or API. If your domain's status is active and the queried DNS record is set to proxied, Cloudflare responds with an Anycast IP address instead of the origin IP address defined in your DNS table. Your domain status is active when name servers are updated to point to Cloudflare and have been authenticated. The proxy status defines how Cloudflare treats queries for specific DNS records. The Anycast IP address is used to distribute traffic amongst Cloudflare's network, which protects your website and app from DDoS attacks and other attacks while optimizing site speed. Cloudflare as a reverse proxy. A reverse proxy is a network of servers that sits in front of the web servers and either forwards requests to those web servers or handles requests on behalf of the web servers. Which is why my hosting provider is like, you're ruining our server, stop it. So this is to like block that. What is that noise? Is it raining? Oh wow, it's raining. Oh wow, it's flooding. Can you guys see that? That is rain. Well, I'm really glad I didn't have to go to the gym yet. I'm gonna have to leave later though. It's kinda nice, honestly. I've been really dying for some like aggressive heavy rain. I don't know if you can see out my window, but like a little bit maybe. I could hear that through my sound cancelling headphones. Like, that is loud rain. Hope you enjoy that. I guess I probably should shut the window while I do it, to be honest. The producer in me demands clean audio. Where was I at? What am I doing? Yeah, right, okay. Checking this, right. We're informing the public. Cloudflare as a reverse proxy. A reverse proxy is a network of servers that sits in front of web servers and either forwards requests to those web servers or handles requests on behalf of the web servers. Reverse proxies are typically implemented to help increase security, performance, and reliability of websites and web applications. When Cloudflare receives a DNS query for your domain, the response is determined by the configuration set in your DNS table, including the type of record, the record's proxy eligibility, and its proxy status. When DNS records in your DNS table have a proxied status, the record's HTTP or HTTPS traffic will route through Cloudflare on its way between the client and the origin server. If the domain status is active, all HTTP or HTTPS requests are for proxy DNS records route through Cloudflare. Using Cloudflare as a reverse proxy can provide a load balancing solution which distributes incoming traffic evenly among different servers to prevent any single server from becoming overloaded in the event that a server fails completely. Other servers can step up to handle the traffic. Protection from attacks. It's the one we care about. With a reverse proxy in place, a website or service never need to reveal the IP addresses of their origin servers, which makes it much harder for attackers to leverage a targeted attack against them, such as a DDoS attack. Instead, the attackers will only be able to target the reverse proxy, such as Cloudflare's CDN, which will have tighter security and more resources to fend off a cyber attack. Caching. A reverse proxy can also cache content, resulting in faster performance. For example, if a user in Paris visits a reverse proxied website with web servers in Los Angeles, the user might actually connect to a local reverse proxy server in Paris, which will then have to communicate with an origin server in LA. The proxy server can then cache or temporarily save the response data. Subsequent Parisian users who browse the site will then get the locally cached version from the Parisian reverse proxy server, resulting in much faster performance. Makes me really proud that I actually understand all of these words. SSL encryption. SSL TLS is essential. Without an SSL TLS certificate, your visitors will find a warning on their browser stating your website or application is not secure. However, encrypting and decrypting SSL or TLS communications for each client can be computationally expensive for an origin server. A reverse proxy can be configured to decrypt all incoming requests and encrypt all outgoing responses, freeing up valuable resources on the origin server. Now, that's all good. I heard a little fact about Cloudflare that was really cool, which is, so in their office, they have, so these people like need security, right? Secure stuff. Like if you ever have to like load a website and check a little check a little box that says Cloudflare and it's just like a little tick box and it's like, yes, I'm a person. That's like protecting from possible invalid traffic. But in order to keep that secure, they have to have like no true system, like nothing that can be predicted. Like you need randomized numbers basically. So I heard that Cloudflare has a wall of lava lamps in their reception area, and they have a camera that tracks it to like create the code to then run all of Cloudflare services. So it's truly random, or as close to truly random as physically possible by thermodynamics. Okay, right. So I need to check that these are all the same. I can't say I know it on instinct, but I do know how to access that information. I'm going to SiteGround, dashboard. I need to find my DNS stuff. Where is that? I've seen it before. There's my CDN. Look at this. If I click on CDN, is this going to be where the paywalled stuff is? There you go. Basic and premium. $5 a month now. Seems like cheap, doesn't it? But if you do that for every little thing, under attack mode, there we go. We're going to get this for free. Cloudflare, DNS zone editor, is that it? There we go. DNS records. So, where are my DNS records? I'm just going to type, okay, so by type, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8A. Manage by type. Can I order it by type? A, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which one's missing? Is it going to be old Digital? Probably. Doesn't actually say. I think it says. Why are these? This host name is not covered by our certificate. MX next. We'll just see what shows up. MX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. MX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. CNAME. 1, 2. CNAME 1. What's the other one? Well, they're all already proxied anyway. And last type is TX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. TX. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There's the middle right one. Okay. Not gonna lie, I feel like for now, I'm gonna wait. Import DNS records. Can I export DNS records? Can I just select all of them and export it? Load more. A DNS zone editor allows you to seamlessly configure the DNS settings. Have in mind that any changes in the records of your domain need to propagate and may take up to 72 hours. I don't want to change it, I just want to download. Okay, I feel like anything I can do later as well. This is the last step to allow Cloudflare to speed up and protect your web traffic. Log into your DNS provider, most likely your registrar. Find your registrar. I can look up SiteGround, I guess. Okay. Yep, that's me. But I already know that. Replace your current name servers with Cloudflare name servers. This is unlikely to cause downtime. Well, I'm already down anyway. But you may skip this and check your DNS records first. Find the name servers section. Add each of the assigned Cloudflare name servers. Okay. Makes me uncomfortable, but we gotta do it. Name servers. IP and name servers. How do I edit? Site. File manager. No. Name servers. SiteGround, how to edit name servers. Services, domains, settings. Okay. SiteGround, services. Domains. Settings. I have to leave in 2 hours. I feel like I'll be done by then. It'll be fine. Name servers. Dib.digital.com is pointed to SiteGround. Current records. What are name servers? Name servers are specialized web servers that handle internet requests. Part of DNS, domain name server. Name servers map domain names to corresponding IP addresses, facilitating internet navigation. By managing name servers, you control the routing of your domain's traffic. Okay. Name server type, SiteGround, current. Okay, now what? Add each of your assigned Cloudflare name servers. Find the name servers section. Add each assigned Cloudflare name server. So we can't have none, so we add first. Cancel. Okay, manage. Name server type. Custom, I guess. Name server 1. Name server 2. Confirm. It's churning. It's thinking about it. The longer it thinks, the more it makes me nervous, but these are not casual things we're doing. It's still doing. Okay, it did. Did it add? Keep loading. Oh, it says successfully changed. It just changed it automatically. Okay. Well, it said delete the other ones, so sure. Okay, Cloudflare, so save your changes. I guess it auto-saved. Recommended. Make sure DNSSEC is off. Find and turn off DNS security setting. If it is on, you can re-enable it later through Cloudflare. Okay, where's that? DNS zone editor, I guess. Don't know how to find this. Extras. No. Owner details. Don't dox myself. Well, I can't dox myself because that's actually not accurate right now. I need to redo that when it's due for renewal. So, you know, that information isn't even accurate, so don't worry about it. Okay, I updated my name servers. Is it broken? Hard to know. Waiting for your register to propagate new name servers. We are verifying that your domain is pointing to Cloudflare. This typically takes 1 to 2 hours, but may take up to 24 hours depending on the registrar. We're checking your status periodically. Let's hope it's quicker than that. Because I kind of want to do this now. I started live streaming this because I want to do this now. Well, so far it's not going so bad. Let's see what's going on with the live stream. We'll keep updating as we go along. But yeah, no. The fact that people feel so threatened by their perceived view of my life is like hilarious. Suspects that it could be. There are a few people at the gym, at the MMA gym, who very much feel like I shouldn't be as achieved as I am, and I'm an achieved person who has come in and doesn't value their opinion as someone who is very experienced but is in fact less experienced than me in martial arts, and my credentials, which are literally right there and over there and a few more, apparently those make their ego really worried. Because, you know, we can't possibly have multiple successful people in an environment. That would be insane. And I sort of seem to question their authority. The fact that I literally am a coach as well. I'm a coach who doesn't want to run classes right now, so I only take privates, but I am a coach because my authority is deemed real in my area of Taekwondo. And then possibly one of my exes. There's a couple of them. There's one who's got more ability to set up a DOS attack personally, but the other one is probably capable of Googling if he engaged his brain even once. He probably pretty salty. We got more options, but those are the main ones. But yes, if this DOS attack persists, because I'll be able to see if they even attempt it. Like, I'm setting up precautions right now to prevent it, but if I can see any further evidence of this continuing, I am going to come for you, and do not question it. I have more resources than you, and more knowledge. Thank you. Let's check this again. I'm going to refresh the page. If I go into my site tools dashboard and refresh my name servers, it still shows as the old ones. It says my name servers are not yet pointed to SiteGround, and I'm like, do they need to be? Like, do they need to? I don't think they need to. Let's Google it. SiteGround. Do name servers need to be pointed to SiteGround? Or can you use Cloudflare? So apparently my name servers do not need to be pointed to SiteGround. I can instead use Cloudflare for my DNS management, and then I can use Cloudflare name servers to point my site to SiteGround using an A record, which might be something I'll have to look into shortly. Okay, let's check the name servers again. Ugh, so annoying. What will be the next steps after this is done? Let's have a look. So next steps will be go to DNS to verify your existing records and configure proxy status. Use SSL TLS to manage certificates. We will issue you a free universal SSL certificate to cover your root domain, but my SiteGround hosting provider already has that. And first level subdomains. Automatic SSL TLS regularly scans your origin to set an encryption code that suits your setup in case you uploaded a new certificate or changed your TLS settings. Log into your DNS provider, most likely your registrar. Find your registrar on ICANN-Lookup. If you purchased your domain for a reseller or use separate DNS provider, log into that account instead. Replace your current name servers. Yeah, I did this. This just makes me think this is done. Like, this bit is just done. It just needs to be connected before it can actually happen. to finish watching this tutorial just so I can know what's what when it happens.
I'm going to teach you how to protect your site from DDoS using Cloudflare. If your website ever slows to a crawl or goes offline because of a traffic flood, these settings will harden your defenses fast, while keeping real visitors moving through smoothly. First, sign into your Cloudflare account. Head to dash.cloudflare.com in your browser and log in. This takes you to your dashboard, where you can manage all your sites in one place. Next, pick the domain you want to protect.
Okay, so I'm not going to lose this page on Cloudflare, but if I just click this on a new tab, back to domains, then that domain is there with an invalid name server, which is like how that one says, but I figured that was just an example. Let's see. Security insights enable, no data, free. I mean, I guess it looks the same. Okay, account home. That's a domain.
From the dashboard, click the domain name. Everything we do.
So go to the dashboard. Click domains. Overview. Click the domain name. That's the very page I'm on. That's what we're waiting for. Then click through again.
From here will apply to this specific site, so make sure you're in the right one before moving on. Now, let's temporarily raise the shields. In the left menu, click Security, then Settings.
Done that one. Okay. Click Security. Settings. That's depreciating September 5th. Okay, that's a different battle right now.
Level, choose Under Attack. This mode places a lightweight JavaScript challenge in front of suspicious traffic.
Under attack? Where is that? Lots of stuff by AI bots, which is nice. But where's under attack mode? DDoS attack protection, always active. Rule set managed by Cloudflare that automatically mitigates HTTP-based DDoS attacks. HTTP DDoS attack protection is always enabled to customize the rule set behavior, create a DDoS override. I don't think I want that, but we'll go and follow the tutorial. Okay, let's look by DDoS attacks. Detect and challenge bot traffic to your domain. I feel like we want that on. Is that okay? All right, I'm not gonna change anything. I'm gonna let the tutorial tell me.
Which helps absorb and filter out bot floods during an incident. It's ideal when you're seeing unusual spikes or active attack patterns. Just remember, it can add a brief interstitial for some visitors, so use it when needed.
What did he click? He clicked
JavaScript challenge in front of suspicious traffic, which helps absorb and filter out bot floods during an incident. It's ideal when you're seeing unusual spikes or active attack patterns. Just remember, it can add a brief interstitial for some visitors, so use it.
browser integrity check. That's on. Okay.
When needed, then return to a normal security level once the surge subsides. By the way, I've put the official Cloudflare link at the very top of the description so you can get to your dashboard quickly and follow along. Cloudflare includes automatic DDoS protection, so let's confirm it's active. In the left menu, go to Security and select DDoS. Ensure that HTTP DDoS protection is enabled. This helps filter.
HTTP protection is enabled. Yep. That's enabled. Right there.
Large Also check that L3-4 network protection is enabled. It's on by default for all.
It says it's on by default, but let's find out. L3-4 network protection. Network layer protection? Here we go. The Cloudflare layer, network layer DDoS attack. Protection manage rule set is a set of pre-configured rules used to match known DDoS attack vectors at levels 3 and 4 of the OSI model. Okay, that sounds like what he was saying. You may need to adjust the behavior of the specific rule in case of false positives or due to traffic patterns. Adjust the behavior of the rules in the managed rule set by modifying the following parameters. The performed action when an attack is detected, the sensitivity level of attack detection mechanisms. Okay.
Plans and help mitigate lower level floods before they reach your origin. To add stronger targeted filtering, we'll create a firewall rule. Go to security, then WAF, and open firewall rules.
Security WAF firewall rules. Security. I don't see anything that says WAF. Security rules. DDoS protection. This was clearly created when the stuff looked different 8 months ago. Maybe it didn't, I don't know.
Click Create Rule. Set the rule with the following logic.
Okay, security rules.
Threat score. Set the operator to greater than and enter the value 10. For the action, choose challenge. Then save the rule. Threat score is cloud
Wait, he's just describing it verbally? He's not showing him making the rule?
station signal based on behavior and known bad sources. Challenging requests with a score above 10 forces suspicious traffic to prove it's legitimate.
Guy.
Outright
Guy.
real users. If you later find it too strict or too lenient, you can adjust the threshold. But start with 10 for balanced protection.
Guy, your rationale is sound, but your whole video is a screen recording and you're not going to show us doing it.
That's it. You've logged in, selected your domain, enabled under attack mode when needed, verified DDoS protections, and added a smart firewall rule to challenge risky traffic.
Did I add the rule?
Rule
I don't think I added the rule.
with the following.
Okay, right. Okay. So he said create an override, did he? Let me listen to this from the start.
3, 4 network protection.
So that's fine, that's fine.
It's on by default for all plans and helps mitigate lower level floods before they reach your origin. To add stronger targeted filtering, we'll create a firewall rule. Go to security, then WAF, and open firewall rules. Click create rule. Set the rule with the following logic.
Click create rule. Okay, create rule. Custom rule. Rule name. Oh, this guy.
Choose the firewall rules. Click create rule. Set the rule with the following logic. Choose the field called threat score. Set the operator
Threat score. I don't see threat score. What the? Well, this is not helpful.
to greater than and enter the value 10. For the action, choose challenge. Then
Is this why he didn't show it? Because he actually like can't set it up. Like, what is this? Okay. How to create a firewall rule in Cloudflare for DDoS attacks. This is literally his video. Oh my god. Is this the same guy? Wait, Smart Money Tutorials? Smart Money Tutorials. He made a separate video, so he knows he didn't cover it. He made it that same week. Okay, right. He's trying to playlist me. And he's successfully playlisting me, but like, he didn't direct me to the playlist himself. One comment on this video. This is interesting because it applies to how Cloudflare looks in 2026, March, so that's only like a few months ago. Troy Glancy's blog post with the rules created a comprehensive list of rules and shared them in a blog post. The challenge is that they apply to how Cloudflare looked in 2024, and for those less familiar with all these settings, important details are no longer obvious. It would be very helpful if you were to take Troy's ideas and add them to your video. So it seems he has not done it in this video so far, but let's see.
I'm going to teach you how to set up Cloudflare Firewall rules. By the end, you'll know exactly how to create, test, and deploy a rule that filters traffic the way you want, without accidentally blocking legitimate visitors. First, head to dash.cloudflare.com and sign in. Once you're in, pick the domain you want to protect. If you manage multiple sites, double check you're opening the right one, because every rule you create only applies to the domain you've selected. Next, open the Firewall Rules area. In the left-hand menu, go to Security, then WAF, and choose Firewall Rules. Click Create a Firewall Rule to get started.
Okay, click the rule.
I've placed a direct link to the Cloudflare dashboard at the top of the description to make this easier. Give your rule a clear, descriptive name so you'll recognize it later. For example, block bad bots or allow admin IPs. Good names help you and your team understand the purpose at a glance, especially as your rules list grows. Now let's define the conditions. Under Field, choose what you want to filter. You can target IP source address if you're allowing or blocking specific IPs. Country is great for allowing or blocking traffic from a region. URI path helps you focus on specific URLs, while HTTP method lets you filter actions like get or post. If you need to stop known crawlers, user agent is helpful. Pick the operator that fits your logic, like equals, contains, or starts with. Then, enter the value, such as an IP address, a country code, or a path. If your logic needs more than one condition, click Add Expression to combine them. Keep your scope tight to avoid catching legitimate traffic by mistake. Choose what should happen when traffic matches your...
This really feels like he's not going to tell me what I need to know.
And now lets it through, block stops it entirely, challenge shows a CAPTCHA, and J's challenge silently verifies the visitor with a JavaScript check. If you're not fully confident yet, a challenge is often safer than a hard block. Before enforcing, you can toggle Simulate to preview how the rule will behave without affecting real visitors. Use this to confirm you're matching only what you intend, and review analytics to see which requests would be impacted. When you're satisfied, click Deploy. Your rule will appear in the Firewall Rules list and takes effect immediately.
But I don't know what rule I need, buddy. I need you to tell me what I need. Undo close tab. I feel like I wasn't supposed to do that. A challenge is better than a block is a good thing. So like, yeah, a JavaScript challenge is like one where it just like thinks for a minute, and then an interactive challenge I think is the one where you have to like tick a box to be like, yes, I'm a people. Let's see. Okay. DDoS attack and WAF rule setup. Okay. Cloudflare community. I've been under DDoS attack for a few weeks now. I have tried setting up under attack mode, but the site seems to go down. I've also tried setting WAF rules, but my Google ads were effective. I've created a rule that follows not of client bot and receive a JS challenge. I have the challenge passkey set to 1 day. Passage set to 1 day. Now my concern is that it might affect APIs, or if they have another type of bot working that isn't allow listed. Whew. These are all concerns that I have. I have a few questions about my custom rules after researching a bunch. Can do DDoS attacks use known or verified bots to overload servers, or if I have my rule set to allow known bots but JS challenge all others, should that be sufficient to ensure the DDoS attack is managed? I have a challenge passage set to 1 day. This should not bother real users. Is this an okay time span under the DDoS attack? Should I set it to less than this? Do I need to set up anything else to ensure APIs aren't affected? Would rate limits help me minimize and mitigate attacks? Can someone tell me how to see all traffic that is coming so I can filter for those types of bots that are trying to access Cloudflare servers? I'm under the impression that my custom rules are too broad at the moment, and my goal is to do a search, find commonalities in the attacks, and create more specific custom rules. This would be to reduce the amount of requests that must undergo the JS challenge and ensure that my rules aren't fixing one thing and breaking another. I also want to make sure that I'm allowing Cloudflare known bots, verified bots, doesn't leave a backdoor for bad actors. Okay. That's the one that solved it. Okay. Good. Right. Medium to high level complexity DDoS attacks. Continue reading if you want to accomplish the following: becoming more familiar with the Cloudflare dashboard and crafting custom firewall rules, understanding the standard behavior of DDoS attacks and deploying effective firewall rules, realizing how powerful and valuable Cloudflare Firewall rules are. I initially thought of making a more complex guide. However, I realized that not everybody gets beyond normal complex attacks. This guide is for those that experience slightly more complicated attacks and has limited tech stack experience. I don't know if I'm a little limited to my requirements, but I feel like I've got more than the average person. In future versions, we will deal with real-time monitoring while using Cloudflare, and how to configure a machine properly so the logs displayed are ready to craft firewall rules. Congratulations, your website is being attacked. That means that somebody took the time and effort to learn how to launch an attack, risk prison time, spend money on a DDoS service and servers, etc. Your project must be doing great, but at the same time, your website is under attack and unavailable. Love that, love that. So true. Your project... Okay, yeah. Enable Cloudflare UAM. The first step is enabling Cloudflare under attack mode. Cliche, but most of the time this step is enough to stop any DDoS attack. Well, I've done it, but we're going whole hog on this, because one of the potential candidates for who is causing this is an actual developer I know who works at a law firm. So it would be hilarious if that was him, but he's a long-time ex, so like I would be surprised if he gave a shit now. If step 2 has worked, then that's great. Your website's back to normal with the inconvenience of a JavaScript page being delivered to all your visitors. If step 2 didn't work and you don't want legitimate traffic challenged, then we are in for a bit of manual work. At this point, you're required to build rules to pattern match the attack. FAQ: what happens if the attack has no pattern? An attack with no visible patterns isn't a patternless attack. All attacks have to follow a pattern. If they do not, the results are likely to be senseless and easier to mitigate. There are exceptions. But those are so limited and hard to find that they aren't worth covering on a more general guide. Why do we have to build a pattern? All HTTP requests are legitimate unless they are crafted terribly. It is impossible to determine if a request is legitimate or not by inspecting the packet itself. We need to analyze and group with firewall rules the traffic that we believe is malicious. Enterprise and automated solutions accomplish this by performing statistical inference and ML, machine learning, operations. The process can be more or less complex, but is essentially the same for all cases. Let's go back to analyzing the traffic. First, go to your Cloudflare dashboard. If you see a considerable spike in the traffic, you can confirm you're under a DNS attack. I know I'm under a DNS attack. I've seen my over analytics. If you do not see any spike, but your site is still unavailable or your backend is unreachable to Cloudflare, this can be due to many reasons, none of which we'll cover in this guide. The steps to crafting firewall rules are simple. Follow these steps like a machine and you will succeed in mitigating your DDoS attack. Check if the attack is geolocated. Dashboard, analytics, scroll down to request by country. Are these all features that Cloudflare has? Because like this is great, but I can't do this until it's like confirmed and set up. If you see a particular gray area, take note of that. Okay. Check the source of the requests. Just like we did in the previous step, note down predominant values. From our example, path is forums, refers is the domain itself. Ignore the host field. This means that the attacker is focusing the power on a specific subdomain. Pattern matching this value could lead to ineffective rules. Check the pattern on the requests that the attacker crafts. This is the most exciting tab, Dashboard Firewall Overview. And will truly build our firewall role. Check the user agents and write them down. You are likely to see a set of dominant user agents. Those are the ones that are being used to carry the DOS attacks. Mozilla, I have stuff like that, Mozilla. Take a random example from the list. Mozilla 5.0, Windows NT 10 WoW 64, Apple WebKit. This looks very familiar to what I'm getting. This user agent belongs to Chrome 71, which is a 4-year-old version of Chrome. Most attackers are lazy and won't bother to update nor check whether if the user agent list makes sense or not. Just by blocking this list of user agents, we could single-handedly stop the attack. To prove our point even further, if we look at the second user agent, that looks pretty similar. Check the predominant ASN's ISP identifier. In many cases, the DDoS attacks are carried by server vendors that have compromised machines and are rented to launch DDoS attacks. Another option, even though less common, is that ISPs ship vulnerable routers that bad actors exploit to launch DDoS attacks. In this case, you'd have 1 or 2 ASN originating the attack. In our case, there is no ASN worth noting. We have seen over 3 million requests in the last 30 minutes. Pattern matching 365k requests would be redundant given that the UA and path checks match almost 100% of the requests. Only after you have mitigated the bigger picture of the attack, it makes sense to mitigate the smaller sections of the attack. Check the HTTP method used. The most common HTTP methods used are GET and POST. In our cases, GET is the most notorious request type. We will note it down as it will be helpful in the future when we craft our firewall rule. Take a random sample of the already blocked requests. The firewall logs show insightful information that isn't shown in the global data displayed in the analytics. Take a peek at random blocked or challenged requests and look at the following field. In my case, there is abnormal behavior, and that is the HTTP version is unknown. This is very uncommon and extremely easy to mitigate. The most common HTTP versions for HTTP DDoS attack are 1.0 and 1.1. There is a reason for this, primarily a limitation on the way the attackers launch DDoS attacks. Covering the technical aspects is out of the scope of this guide. Simultaneously, in this attack example, the query string is empty and it could be randomized. To summarize, we have the following. Brazil has a lot of presence in the attack, however, it doesn't group more than 90% of the attack. The attack path is forums. The referrer header is the domain itself. Approximately 10 user agents are used to carry the attack, as seen in the firewall tab. The HTTP version is unknown for all requests. Solution. Block requests from Brazil that carry a medium-high threat score, always ensuring the request is not a known bot. Block the request of unknown HTTP version. Okay, field. Threat score, again, they're talking about threat score. I saw no threat score option. Like, field. I just don't see threat score. It's just not there. So what if I choose country equals, I don't know. I don't imagine I have many people visiting me from Azerbaijan. And does threat score appear? It does not. What if I change it to or? It doesn't. So why? Really feels like people are gaslighting me. Block the request with an unknown HTTP version. Block the requests that carry previously mentioned features and have a moderate threat score. Captcha is an appropriate choice. Okay. If I go back and scrap this. Cancel that. Go back. New custom rule. DDoS protection. Create rule. Can't create rule from here. Create override. I feel like I don't want to create an override, but I'm going to click it, see what shows up. Rule set managed by Cloudflare that automatically mitigates HTTP-based DDoS attacks. HTTP DDoS attack protection layer is always enabled. To customize the rule set behavior, create an override. So maybe this is where I do need it. Okay, that took for ages. I had to click about 5 times. Starting to feel like my mouse is getting old. Okay. Rule set action default. Don't know. Rule set sensitivity. Browse rules. Hmm. 148 rules. Oh my god. Threats. I do feel like the battery in my mouse is dying because it's just not responding. What did it call it? Threat score. Nothing that says that. Can I check the name server again? Please wait a few more hours for an update. No, my name servers are still the same. Oh, if we had someone in chat. Who are you? Hello, I'm new here. Nice to meet you, Gideon. How are you? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, we're just going through my my complete DOS attack thing right now. It seems that I am at a standstill where I cannot make any progress until my name servers have updated and propagated throughout my hosting provider SiteGround. So I may kind of be forced to just like come back to this later because I have an hour and 20 minutes before I have to leave to go give a PT client at the gym at Taekwondo private for 2 hours. So I need to eat again before I leave for that. And it seems like I'm being forced to wait anyway. So I may have to resume this in the evening. But how long have I been here? I've been here about an hour. I feel like I'm going to have to just stop this for now. If I have any spare time, then I'm going to try and extra secure my Govi rope light, which has fallen down after I made a very lovely shape of it yesterday. So yeah, thank you very much for watching and signing in. Please check back in tomorrow or later tonight to see if I actually solved this issue. And if you are the person who has DOSed my website, you're a moron. And I'm sure there's loads of things you could have spent your very little money on other than trying to inconvenience me for a day. I'm literally making content out of it, so